You feel a sharp pain explode in your back. Your breath catches. Warm blood soaks into your shirt as you stumble forward. Shock paralyzes your thoughts. Your shaking hand reaches around and finds the hilt of a knife buried between your shoulder blades.
Dazed, you turn to look behind you and meet the eyes of your attacker. It's your best friend. The person you trusted more than anyone stands there, hand still gripping the bloody knife, watching you collapse. Your mind cannot process it. A moment ago, you were laughing together. Now you're choking on betrayal and blood. You trusted this person with your life, and now they've taken a blade to it. A cold numbness spreads alongside the pain as your reality shatters. This is how betrayal always strikes. From the blind side by the one you let get close. It's always a shock, a collapse of the world you thought you knew. One moment you're safe in the warmth of loyalty. The next, you're free falling through a nightmare, wondering what went wrong. It doesn't always take a knife in the flesh. Sometimes betrayal comes with a smile and a soft lie. A secret slipped to your enemies. A promise broken when you needed it most. But the feeling is the same. The floor of trust gives way beneath you, and you're suddenly alone in the dark. Trust, you realize too late, was a trap. Why did they do it? How could your friend, of all people, do this to you? That question burns in your mind, even hotter than the pain. You gave them your trust, your loyalty, maybe your love, and they repaid you with a knife in the back. Was it something you did? Or was it simply because betraying you gave them something they wanted? The ugly truth is this: betrayal happens because it often works. Nature doesn't care about morality or fairness. It cares about results. And from a cold evolutionary standpoint, treachery is sometimes the winning strategy. Think about it. The traitor often walks away with the prize. Throughout evolution, acts of betrayal have provided tangible benefits. The thief who steals food eats, while the honest starve. The deserter who flees battle lives, while the loyal die. The unfaithful spread their genes, while the faithful lose out. In brutal survival terms, betrayal often wins. Trust creates opportunity. When everyone else plays by the rules, the one who breaks them can exploit all the rewards. It's cruel, but that's how life often works. For every group of suckers who trust, there's a cheater who gets ahead by taking advantage of that trust. Cooperation evolved? Yes. But so did cheating. Imagine a primitive tribe huddled around the fire, sharing their food to survive the winter. All it takes is one member to sneak away with the cache of meat in the night. By dawn, the traitor is gone and well fed, while the rest wake to starvation. In nature's harsh logic, betrayal is rewarded with survival. Betrayal isn't a human invention. It's woven into the natural world. The animal kingdom is rife with deception and backstabbing of its own kinds. We humans at least pretend betrayal is taboo. Animals simply do what works. Take the cuckoo bird. It's a mother and a con artist. Instead of building its own nest, a cuckoo quietly lays its egg in another bird's nest and flies off. The unsuspecting host bird will nurture that egg, treating it as its own. Then comes the ruthless twist. When the cuckoo chick hatches, it pushes the host's real offspring out of the nest to their death. The cuckoo fledgling monopolizes the food and care of its foster parents, who are fooled into feeding the very creature that murdered their young. This is betrayal in nature. A baby bird executing its adoptive siblings so it alone can thrive. Or consider primates. A hungry monkey spots a pile of food guarded by others. Instead of fighting, he looks up and screams a false alarm, a warning of a predator that isn't there. The whole troop panics and runs for cover. In that moment of chaos, the deceiver scoops up the food and quietly feasts. A lie for a meal. His friend's trust became his opportunity. Everywhere in nature, you find these little traitors. Insects that let others do the work, then steal the reward. Animals that feign cooperation until the perfect moment to cheat. Evolution has no shame. If a strategy yields an advantage, it spreads. Betrayal is just strategy, as far as nature is concerned. Survival first, ethics not even on the menu. And what about humans? We pretend we're above all that. But our history tells a different story. The pages of human history are written in blood and betrayal, as much as in honor. We condemn the traitor, yes, but we are lying to ourselves if we say betrayal is rare. The truth is, history is shaped as much by treachery as by heroism. Julius Caesar's mighty reign ended at the hands of his friend Brutus. Jesus' own disciples sold him out with a kiss for 30 silver coins. In every era, from ancient empires to modern governments, deals in the dark and knives in the back have determined the fate of nations. Why do we remember names like Brutus and Judas so vividly? Because their stories hit a nerve deep in us. The horrifying fact that even your closest ally might turn against you. We spotlight these betrayals in our legends precisely because they are timeless and universal. And for every famous betrayal that gets recorded, countless others unfold in silence, changing the course of history behind closed doors. Power often hinges on betrayal. Kings and generals have always known that a well-timed betrayal can accomplish more than any army. Machiavelli, that cynical sage of power, wrote that a wise ruler should break his promise whenever keeping it puts him at a disadvantage. In other words, loyalty is optional when survival is on the line. Think about that. One of the most famous manuals for power literally teaches betrayal as a legitimate tool. And it's not wrong. Many leaders and winners in this world follow that advice to this day. In business, in politics, in war, the winners are often those who are willing to betray trust and get ahead, while the naive play by the rules. But let's leave the grand stage of history and look at your life. How many times have you seen this pattern? The coworker who smiles at you but quietly steals credit for your work and gets the promotion. The lover who swore fidelity, then strayed the moment it suited them. You felt these stabs, in small or big ways, and each time it happened, you asked, why? How could they do this to me? You replayed conversations, looking for clues or blaming yourself for not seeing it coming. Maybe you decided they were just terrible people, nothing like you. It's comforting to think that betrayal is something only others do. But that comfort is a lie. It's time to turn the question around. What about you? Have you ever been the betrayer? Maybe you never put a literal knife in someone's back, but betrayal has many forms. Have you ever broken a promise to serve yourself? Shared a secret you swore to keep? Abandoned a friend when they needed you? Be honest. We've all done something like this. Be honest. You have. Perhaps your betrayals were small, hushed, easily justified to yourself. But they were betrayals all the same. In those moments, you chose yourself over someone who trusted you. You took the benefit and let them take the hurt. That is the essence of betrayal, stripped of all excuses. The capacity for betrayal lives in everyone, including you. That's a hard pill to swallow, but there it is. The line between you and the traitors you despise is thinner than you want to believe. Under the right circumstances, you might do exactly what they did. We are all traitors under the skin, kept in check not by saintliness, but by lack of opportunity and fear of consequences. Society tries to mask this truth with pretty stories. We lionize loyalty and selflessness, declaring betrayal the ultimate sin. We insist that traitors are a few bad apples, uniquely evil, nothing like us. It's a comforting narrative that keeps society glued together. Because if we all knew how common betrayal really was, trust might evaporate entirely. Look at how every culture treats traitors, with absolute scorn. Traitors are cast out, reviled, given the harshest punishments. In many places, treason means death. Why such extreme revulsion? Because betrayal is the enemy within. A traitor can do what no external enemy can: rot a community from inside. Harsh punishments and moral outrage are society's attempts to scare would-be traitors straight. We tell ourselves stories of heroes and villains to reinforce the norm. Loyalty is always rewarded in fairy tales. Treachery is always punished. It's a nice lie that keeps us mostly playing fair. But those stories are necessary only because the impulse to betray is real. If betrayal weren't a constant temptation in the human heart, we wouldn't need such fierce taboos against it. Despite all the sermons and punishments, betrayal never disappears. Not from our world. No matter how we preach virtue, the shadow of treachery remains. We are creatures of duality, built to cooperate, yes, but also built to look out for ourselves. Each of us carries the angel and the devil, the friend and the traitor, in our DNA. It's a tug of war that has been going on inside human beings forever. Evolution made us this way. We descend from those who banded together to survive, and also from those who, when push came to shove, saved themselves at the expense of others. Our ancestors were the loyal protectors and the cunning defectors. That double legacy lives in us. Your instinct to trust and your urge to betray are both ancient, honed by millennia of natural selection. So, what do you do with this truth? How are you supposed to live, knowing that anyone you care about could betray you, and that you, yourself, are not immune to that dark impulse? The weight of it can be paralyzing. It can fill you with distrust, even despair. One path is to let it. You could decide never to trust anyone again. Close your heart, live behind walls, assume everyone is out for themselves. You might even embrace the traitor's creed. Do unto others before they do unto you. Betray first, strike first, so you never get hurt. That path might protect you, but it comes at a price. You'd live in constant wariness and isolation. You might survive, yes, but you wouldn't truly live. You'd be existing in a constant fight, never at peace. There is another path, a harder, braver path. You can accept the truth of what we are, accept that every person has this capacity for betrayal, and still choose to trust when it matters. Choose to be loyal even though you know it may not be repaid. This isn't blind faith, it's a conscious, defiant act. It's saying, I know the game is rigged, but I refuse to become what I hate. This is a profound choice. To act with honor in a dishonorable world. To hold yourself to your principles, knowing it might cost you while others take the easy win. It's not naivete. You're not pretending betrayal doesn't exist. You're staring right at it and saying, not me. I will not be that. Why choose loyalty at all, when betrayal so often triumphs? Because there's a different kind of victory in refusing to play the ugly game. The world may never reward you. It may even punish you. But you'll know your soul is your own. Now you understand what most people never do. You see the real face of humanity, the light and the dark together. The comfortable illusions of good people always do good, bad people do bad, have been stripped away. You've stepped out of the cave of pleasant lies into a stark daylight. It's disorienting, even frightening, but it's the truth. And with truth comes power. In this cold light of truth, you gain power over yourself. You can no longer be easily deceived, not even by your own rose-colored view of others. You will recognize the glint of a hidden knife behind a friendly smile and the selfish motive beneath a honeyed word. Awareness is a weapon, and now it's in your hand. With clarity comes responsibility. You can't unknow what you know. You can't pretend that betrayal is unthinkable and then act shocked when it happens. And you can't pretend you're incapable of it either. From here on, every time you trust someone, you'll understand the gamble you're taking. Every time you consider betraying someone, you'll feel the weight of that choice. You're awake now. No more excuses. This knowledge is dark, but it gives you the power to choose which side of yourself to feed. Now that you see the game for what it is, how will you play? Will you let the predator inside you run rampant, or will you tame it? Will you use this truth to become more cruel or more compassionate in a world that rewards the ruthless? Choosing empathy and loyalty is an act of rebellion, a way of proving that we can be more than what nature made us. So trust, but with your eyes open. Love, but with your eyes open. You will still risk betrayal. That risk never goes away, but you'll do it knowingly. And that makes all the difference. An act of trust, made with full awareness of the stakes, is not weakness. It's power. It's you saying, I refuse to be ruled by fear. It's courage. And if you choose, at times, to be ruthless, you will do that with eyes open too. Not out of blind instinct, but deliberate intent. I'm not telling you to be a saint. Maybe you will need to play the traitor in some moments. Even that can be a conscious choice for a greater purpose. The point is, you are in control now. You see the board clearly, every piece, every player. You decide which rules to obey and which to break. This is your moral reckoning. The veil is lifted, and you have no excuses left. If you betray someone now, it's a choice made with full awareness. If you remain loyal, it's because you deliberately chose to. Knowing the price, either way, you own your actions. You might even wish you could go back to sleep, back to the comfortable lies. But would you really trade away clarity for a comforting illusion? That peace of ignorance is just a sheep's peace before the slaughter. It isn't real. It isn't safe. Most people will never confront this truth. They'll live and die in comfortable delusions, never understanding why the knives keep finding their backs. They'll trust blindly and feign surprise when they're betrayed. They will stay asleep, but not you. You didn't turn away. You wanted the truth, and you got it. And now you must decide what to do with it. For the first time, you can see clearly and act freely. This clarity is like a cold light flooding a dark room, harsh but revealing everything. It's a painful gift, but a gift nonetheless. Because now you are truly awake. If you stay still, you fall back to sleep. And if you fall back asleep, you know what awaits you. Another life on autopilot. Before closing, leave one sentence in the comments. Not a reaction, not a slogan. One brutally honest sentence that marks the moment you stopped lying to yourself. Disappear. Live. And when you're ready, come back. I'll be waiting, where I always am, on the edge, where it all begins.